Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to get through this thing called Mix CD. My name is Mike, part of the SPDM crew, and I love making Mix CDs. Each week, we give our guests a theme and an 80-minute time limit for which songs they're going to pick for their Mix CD. This week, we're going to be talking about karaoke songs. So, today, as I record this, is my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Olivia. And her dad and sister are in town, and they went up to a pub in Kenosha called the Tipsy Kiwi, and they're doing karaoke there. Now, I do not know if my wife is actually going to do karaoke. I don't know if her dad or her sister are going to do karaoke, but they're there enjoying it. And it got me thinking about the karaoke songs that I've sung, the best karaoke songs that I've seen, and the dream karaoke songs. Some of the best renditions that I've seen, and some of the ones that I would just love to watch. So I'm going to go through some of my favorite experiences with karaoke. Now, let me premise this by saying I do not sing well. I think I can carry a tune, but in actuality, I can't. And I like a lot of songs that are not really conducive or constructive with my voice. So that's a bit of a struggle for me when it comes to karaoke, especially since I like the idea of potentially doing karaoke, but it just never works out in my favor. So I'm going to start with a bunch of karaoke songs that I've done in the past. And I'm starting with Go West, King of Wishful Thinking. I don't know why I like this song so much. This is even before like Jimmy Fallon and Paul Rudd tried to bring this song back, but this song from the Pretty Woman soundtrack is still a bop, and I love it. So I've sang this for karaoke. One of my go-to karaoke songs is "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys. Easy to sing, very sing-alongable. Yeah, we'll go with that. So something that is just a general crowd pleaser. Speaking of crowd pleasers, Bohemian Rhapsody is one. Look, whether you're drunk or you're sober listening to this song, it doesn't change the fact that it's a great song and it's a lot of fun to sing, especially if you're with a group of friends. Call in Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks. That's one that I sang a bunch in college. Love it a lot. I also could have put Friends in Low Places, but I ended up doing Call in Baton Rouge instead with some friends. I've got Since You've Been Gone and God Bless the USA. Now, both of these songs do not go together in any capacity, but these were two songs that we sang at a karaoke bar in Washington, D.C. when I worked for a company called Lead America. Since You've Been Gone, that was just a lot of fun. And God Bless the USA, it felt right to sing that song because we were in Washington, D.C. And that was before we found out that Lee Greenwood is just a general piece of shit. So those two songs are up there. Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond. I feel like everybody at some point who has done karaoke will sing Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. It's an easy song to sing, and it's, again, one that goes with the crowd. One big karaoke fail that I've had is singing More Than Words by Extreme. You don't realize how the high notes are really hard to hit and hold on to. So that's a huge epic fail for me with More Than Words. Days Go By Keith Urban, me and my buddy Chris Crampart sang this one day for karaoke, so that was a lot of fun. Like a Prayer by Madonna. That's always a fun one to sing for karaoke, and I did it on a dare in college, so that was fun. Down by Jay Sean. This is pretty easy one to sing. No, like a whole lot of variance when it comes to the notes. Amazed by Lone Star, All My Life by Casey and JoJo, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Those are all ones that I've seen and that I've enjoyed. I don't think I've ever had the guts to sing any one of them, mainly because Amazed is just like such a special song. All My Life is a pretty long song, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing has some of those high notes. I've seen a group of friends do Some Nights by Fun, and that was pretty great. Give Your Heart a Break. There was one time I went to karaoke back around where I live, and somebody sang this song, and it was great. It was fantastic. One other song that I've done for karaoke myself is I sang A Whole New World by Aladdin, or from the Aladdin soundtrack. So I had to add that on there. I've seen one person do When Doves Cry by Prince, and it was awesome. It was when I was on a trip. We were in San Diego, and yeah, that one was great. And the last one is Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. So there's a place around where we lived called Last Chance Saloon. They did karaoke quite frequently, and there was always one individual who would sing this song and do both the male and female parts. And kudos to that person for having the guts to actually do sing that song for both the male and female parts, but also just having the guts to actually go up and do it. So those are that's probably part one of the karaoke songs list. And as for the album cover, this would probably be just a karaoke machine. Or one of the places that did karaoke a lot growing up was TGI Fridays. So that I would probably put a TGI Fridays sign with, karaoke tonight or whatever on that. What are some of your favorite karaoke songs? Let me know in the comments below. Well, my friends, the time has come to end this episode of Mix CD. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website soon to be out at spdmcrew.com. You can follow our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music at Mike Hilty. Shout out to High Flyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, no matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid because I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.